Are there things that you have done, you've had some public,
Yep.
I done stepped to some shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you address that with your children?
You're never prepared for that side of it. I can say having a little girl in my life, it's tough. You don't realize the impact
Yes.
that your mistakes can truly have.
Now, this is an important piece, and some of you may not like the gender issue, but I'm going to tell you anyway. It doesn't matter. It's still true. These men are my age, a little bit younger. I'm a little bit older than them, but we think the same way. Your little girl changes you when you're a father. It just changes you. It's different than a little boy. It's different. The little girl changes. You think differently. You act differently. You begin to look at yourself differently. It's not the same as your wife or your mother. Your little daughter is just different. My daughters changed me. There's no doubt they did. I felt differently. And they're saying the same thing. They have both boys and girls. I have only girls. They have boys and girls.
Yeah.
When the kids get involved,
Yeah, man.
it's a different feeling. It's a different opinion. It's a different emotion. And through my public debacles, I got on some armor, dude. It's very hard to shoot through this, to poke through it. It's very hard to bother me.
But it doesn't matter, does it?
It's very hard. Well,
Once you have kids, you have an Achilles heel. So you could be the toughest guy in the world. Mr. Tough Guy. I'm the toughest guy. Yell at me all day. I don't care. Do this all day. I don't care. You don't care. I'm a tough guy. But now my kids are messed with. Oh, yeah. That's your Achilles heel. You mean toughest guy you want to be. Kid's going to bother you. Tom says, yep, I have 2 daughters. Youngest changed me completely for the better. I agree, Thomas. 100%. Yes, absolutely.
and now you realize that there's a different emotional cord that can be pulled on you that nobody else has
Yes.
the privilege of ever touching.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
You guys have seen the stuff I've gone through publicly. People say bad things about me, lie about me, say stuff, and I'm similar, right? I'm sure he has stronger armor than I have. He's far more popular than I am, but I have decent armor. But my kids get bothered? Yeah, I'm bothered.
me and my wife went through what we went through, and the whole cheating display, my talk with heaven.
Yeah.
God damn.
Can they trust you? You lied to their mother, right? And there's the hardest part. If you're, in this case, being the father, your kids are your image. You are their image of manhood in this case, right? So if you lie to their mother and cheat, doesn't your daughter go, is that how men are? Or can I trust you? Don't all those things come into play? You've got to be able to come clean to make the best chance that your daughter is going to try to find the right relationship in her life. It's a tough one. Missy says, I don't know if I would even want to know why my father was unfaithful. Sometimes it's better not to know. It's a good question, Miss. I guess it also would depend on how old you were and what else was going on in your life, right? So in his case, his life is public. So he's got, friends and family and people asking questions and people seeing it in the news and such. Probably that's the case. You probably want to confront your dad. But if it was like, in my case, my father was not famous, except among a couple of ladies, obviously, but he wasn't famous. So nobody else cared. So maybe in that case, maybe you don't care.
So everything, this is a child, right?
Yes.
Every child is the internet. There's nothing that you're going to come across that you're going to read that isn't going to have an impression.
Yeah.
Yes.
A child,
Yeah.
everything has a meaning.
100%.
My daughter was tough on me until this day.
Wow.
Until this day, my daughter is tough on me.
Yes.
My daughter don't play no games with her father, man.
Yeah, she's 16 minus 17, and they're pushing to make sure that you are loyal, that you are true, that what you're saying is right. They're figuring out how to be adults now, and they want to make sure, is this true? Is this right? Is this how it works? So my daughters don't believe in a fantasy that relationships are perfect and wonderful, and the second you argue, it's over. My daughters realize that relationships are tough, and you're going to have disagreements, and you're going to argue, and it doesn't mean you don't love each other, and it doesn't mean that the relationship's over. It means you're going to argue until you come up with an answer in some way, and then you move on.
Jada calls it the power circle, right? And she says, what you don't realize is as the center of the power, you sit in the eye of the storm where it's calm. But one step away from you is where the winds are whipping and where people attack and where all of the fury of the storm rages.
Now, again, they're exaggerating a bit in their own world because they're famous. But even if you're not famous, there's a part of this that's true. If you are in your household, the main breadwinner, and you spend most of your time working and bringing in the most of the money, lion's share of the money, and in certain cases, all of the money, depending upon where you are and what your relationship is with your spouse. But if you're the main breadwinner, and maybe even the only breadwinner, that becomes your total focus. And so you just want to be there. But if you go outside of that, there's a bunch of people around you who are dealing with all different issues that very often you don't see and you don't want to see, but you should see. You should, but you don't want to see because you're focusing on being the main breadwinner, right, in your family. And you're like, no, I got the breadwinner part. That's what I do, right? And then there's another world out there, another group of people out there doing other things that you probably should know about.
I had to really understand my daughter's side. You know, my daughter had a talk with me about her mother that rocked me. She checked me. She said,
Daughters,
I want you to.
Young daughters can check fathers like no other.
Because when you say these things, Dad,
Right.
Other
this
people are affected.
and this and this.
Yeah.
But honey, I don't mean it. Like I'm just talking. It doesn't matter, Dad.
Yeah. He's not just talking.
Doesn't matter, Dad, when you say these words.
And
You unleash dogs on people.
But honey,
And
what are
that's
you
the piece
talking
that I
about?
want to bring up here, right? As the main breadwinner, whether you're the father or the mother, in this case, obviously it's fathers or fathers, but father or mother, main breadwinner, the things that you say affect everybody around you. You don't realize that your praise is very valuable and that your scorn is extra painful because you are the main breadwinner. It does matter.
The one thing that Cherie, my ex, Trey's mother, would always say that I had to be careful how I talked about our marriage and our divorce.
Oof.
And I didn't realize, it really took me years to comprehend. She was like, whatever you say, the world is going to punish me for that.
Now, again, I got to say this. You might say to yourself, well, Larry, I'm not famous, right? So if I call my spouse some bad name, so what? I'm not famous. That's not going to be in a newspaper. That's true. But you have mutual friends, don't you? You share children, don't you? Those children share their friends, don't they? Yes. So when you're looking at your spouse or ex-spouse or current spouse and you go, he's a she's a you've just allowed others to look at her that way. You've encouraged others to look at her that way. And now when it comes to kids, you're a father, mom is divorced, and in front of your daughter, you call their mom a bitch. What does your daughter think? She sees herself in that woman, her mom. Well, you're a mom, and you call the dad a loser. What's the son think when he sees himself in his dad? I guess I'm a loser too. Or worse, Dad, why'd you marry a bitch? Mom, why'd you marry a loser? Am I going to have that problem too? You're casting doubt on everyone, and you're now authorizing them, more importantly, to call the other that. And I know that when you've had a divorce or you feel bad or you're angry at your baby mama or your baby daddy and you're angry, you want to punish him because it feels righteous. I get it. And you're right. It does feel righteous. It does feel good. It's just not helpful. And the people you're hurting aren't really the adults. It's the kids who are being hurt.